Office pet peeve.
The toilet seat being left up. I mean, seriously.
Are we
have
animals?
unisex. Exactly. We have unisex loos. Just be considerate, guys.
Hi, Nat.
Hi.
Natalie Graeme, founder of Uncommon Creative Studio. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
You're our first returning guest, and actually you were our first interview just over 2 years ago.
Oh my God, that time's flown.
It has flown a little bit, but thank you for coming back. And I'm actually going to start with the same question I started with 2 years ago, which is, what does after work mean to you? Because 2 years ago, it was a bit of a difference, but quite a lot's happened. So why don't you fill us in?
Yeah, quite a lot has happened.
Quite a lot's happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm not at work right now. I'm just about to return back to work after having a little person.
Congratulations,
Thank
my
you very
friend.
much. After work at the moment is just trying to keep my head together. But I imagine once I'm back at work, it'll be wine. And I think that's the same answer as I probably gave last time. So no difference. Yeah.
So you've been off now for six months, and are you looking forward to getting back?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think obviously my life has completely changed in lots of wonderful ways. Nils and Lucy have been phenomenal. They have really made sure that I have not been half in, half out, which I think a lot of people assumed I would be doing. And they were so excited for me when I told them I was pregnant. They've been ghosting me, essentially.
Brilliant.
Which I love. And so to have that support has been amazing, but it also means I really crave wanting to get back into it a bit. So
And I guess they know you well enough to know you sort of need to be forced a little bit to not be half in work.
They're not the only person that's told me that. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the time, but I'm also really enjoying and excited about what happens next.
And why, as a founder stepping out for maternity leave, it's quite hard actually, because that's almost your baby. It's your other baby, your work baby. And you said you didn't really feel anxious stepping out for mat leave. What had you set up that meant you didn't feel anxious?
I guess I did feel a bit anxious, but ultimately I felt really supported by everyone. And Nils and Lucy were incredibly supportive in the way that they were preparing me for it. They're both parents themselves, and we've got lots of parents on our team. Honestly, I completely trust the team. So I'm quite excited to see what they've been up to while I've been out. I'm sure they've had a lot.
Busy.
They've been very busy. But I also am excited to see what they've done without me being there. And that's hopefully not because I'm too micromanaging, but more just because with that freedom of me not being around, I think they would have taken it in a different direction, and that's quite exciting to hear.
Does that change your job as you go back into the business?
I think it was a weird transition, because I think one of the biggest learnings really was actually a reappraisal of what I do. And a bit like when you go on holiday, you come back with a renewed focus, or at least I often use that time to reflect on how I could be more effective in my job, where I should put my energy, how do I hold on to that holiday vibe. This is obviously completely different, but there was a huge period in the run-up in the run-up to my maternity leave where I really reflected on what it was my job was. Because as a founder, I think you accumulate things, some stuff you didn't even realise you were doing. And yeah, I think it forced a huge reappraisal to the extent that actually when I go back, I know I'm not stepping back into the same job. So there'll be certain things that I probably will need to take back over from the team, or they'll be desperate to hand back to me. But there's quite a lot of stuff that, quite frankly, probably needed a moment like this for me to be able to step away from. And I'm sure it will be probably better as a result, which is good.
Can you tell me one thing that you're dying to get back into? Like, is there this one thing that you're like, I don't want to let that go, I really want to keep hold of that?
To be honest, I'm just missing the team.
Yeah.
I massively miss the team. I caught up with a few of them the other night, and it was really lovely just to spend time with them. And we have an incredible gang. And I think it really helped me, not that I didn't appreciate it before, but I really do think we've got one of the best gangs out there. That's the thing I'm desperate to get back to more than anything. And some adult conversation would be nice, but yeah.
I did feel like that. I remember at the end of my mat leave, I was like, I don't have much to talk about apart from the baby actually in the family. And I'd really like to get that other bit going again.
Yeah.
And knowing you, like, you have worked so hard for such a long time, and you are very passionate about what you do. And I just want to revisit maternity leave, because I guess I was a little worried knowing you, wondering how you'd adjust from 20 plus years in advertising, which is very demanding and works at pace, to this very different pace of maternity leave. And it's a full-time job and it's bonkers, but it's so different.
It is, and it can be quite boring. I mean, there's a monotony to it, there's a rhythm to it, but actually I think sometimes that's where the joy is. And what I don't want to lose in going back to work is being too expedient. And I think that's one of the dangers of taking on the new rhythm of what you're doing, and then also trying to obviously do work as well, that you end up being miss efficiency and trying to fit everything into your day. So I'm very aware that that's one of the biggest challenges that I'm going to have, is making sure I don't lose the joy, because actually it's not about not sweating the small stuff, both at work and at home. And I recognise that's, I mean, it's easier said than done. I'm saying it out loud now.
Yeah, on camera.
So that when on camera, so you can hold me to it as a friend.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I don't squeeze those things out of my life. And I mean that.
You're making me feel very, very hang on, I'm just going to go like this. You're making me feel very emotional, actually, because that maternity leave I miss, and I think it's a very special time. And I think one of the reasons I loved it so much was I could focus on one thing, actually. Like, there's something, your brain is pulled in advertising in so many different directions. And wasn't there a joy in some of the peace of being like, I've got to learn this thing from scratch, being a mum, but I only have to do that.
Yeah.
And yes, there's other kids around, like, don't get me wrong, but it's like I can focus, and I miss that single focus.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've absolutely loved the shift of gear, but the commitment and fully committing myself to one thing has been amazing. I think it obviously comes with its challenges, and at certain points you want that release, you want to be able to have your brain thinking about something else. And but honestly, I've got an incredible husband and very supportive family, so it has been very joyful. So I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm hoping not all of that goes by going back to work, but I feel like there is the opportunity to balance it, and I'm not the first person to do it. So there'll be lots of people around me, who will be egging me on, and I feel I can be vulnerable with that. I can say, oh, I'm having a meltdown. I don't think I'm getting this right. And that's the one thing I guess I am quite good at, is being quite honest about, to a fault, about the fact that I'm not coping or I need some help.
The other thing I think you should be proud of is your amazing relationship between the founders, because so often that can go, it's not even going south, it just can change. And it just sounds like you have a lot of support.
I do, it's incredible. I mean, I think one of the things I was most fearful of was telling Nils and Lucy.
About your pregnancy?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just because I didn't want to be dropping one baby to have another. And I think I was quite worried about telling them. And they were equally as teary as me when I told them, which was just adorable. But they are so supportive, and they really wanted it for me as well. So they're just so happy that, because they've known me for such a long time, they really wanted me to be happy, and they wanted this for me.
But I just want to ask, why were you worried about telling them? Like, what was it? Guilt leaving?
I think there is an element of guilt, that feeling like, goodness, I'm stepping out for a hot minute. Do they feel I'm going to be leaving them behind? What have you? But the reality is very, very different. And as we always made a commitment, this was for the long term. And when we first started, we always said there'd be moments where we would take different people within the gang would take front and center at different points. So, you know, I might step forward at one point, Nils might another, Lucy another moment. And I think we've tried to manage that along. It's the long game. Ultimately, it's the long game.
Well, I hope you had a massive sense of relief after you told them anyway.
Oh, honestly, it was lovely. We just had an incredible hug, and then realised we were just going to have to juggle for 6 months. But it's only 6 months. And they've raised incredible families while we've been building Uncommon as well. So they're not unaware of the challenges, and they're hugely supportive of it. So it's great.
Tell me about how you think being a parent to a teeny tiny baby is going to change your leadership style.
Oh, tons. It's dialing up a lot of stuff that I knew was important as being a leader, but I think it has taught me patience. That reserves I didn't realise I had. I'll give you that. It was funny. Nils actually said as I was leaving to take my moment out, he said, "I think it will make you a better leader." And I didn't quite appreciate what he meant by that when he said it, but I now fully understand what he meant. He's a parent. He's done it 3 times. He gets it. But I think definitely it's taught me levels of patience.
Yeah.
I think as a leader, you obviously are really very aware of what your energy does to the rest of the people around you. You know, when you walk into a room, if you've lost a pitch, if you've won a pitch, people look to you to understand how they should be interpreting things, and never more so when you have a 4-month-old trying to go through teething, or you're trying to get them to sleep when actually all you want to do is curl in a ball yourself. I think recognizing the energy you project and how that is interpreted is one of the things I think you really learn in being a parent.
You're staring down the barrel of the return to work. How are you going to keep yourself sane, and what boundaries are you planning to put in place?
I'm going to try and stay sane. That's definitely a plan. I think it's really easy to think about it as just a logistical challenge. And yeah, there obviously are going to be logistical issues of, you know, how do I get back for nursery pickup? What do I do if she's poorly? There's going to be a lot of those things that I'm going to have to juggle. But I guess the way I've been thinking about it, this could be hugely naive because I'm not yet back, but is that I've always learned to pivot. So whether there's, you know, if there's an issue of someone on our team or a client issue or a family member, or you always pivot. And so again, it's just going to be that juggle of, have I got enough hours in the day? The logistical challenge is there, but I hope that I'll get into a rhythm that will allow me to kind of juggle that. I think actually the biggest thing about staying sane for me personally, though, is the emotional side of it, of making sure that I'm fully present. It is for any parent, but I think particularly as a founder, both babies are important. And I do see my company and obviously what we've developed over the last few years as being incredibly important to me, but also if I've gone through all this heartache to have a child and have a child late in life, and likewise all the heartache with, you know, creating a company and what have you, and I don't enjoy both, then what was the bloody point in the first place? So for me, it's about making sure that I'm fully committing to being present in whichever I'm spending time in. And I'm definitely going to have a meltdown at some point. I will get it wrong. But I think making sure I'm not on the phone, or even worse, going through a list of things in my head when I'm doing playtime with my little one, at the same time as when I'm at work, stressing about not being at home. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to try and force myself for that to be a no-go.
Yeah.
And for me to feel that that's not going to be me enjoying both. So emotionally, I think that's going to be the challenge, but I've got huge support. My husband is militant about it because he knows that's what's important. It's what I want.
Okay, final questions, my friend.
Okay.
Had to rewrite these for you because you've been before. Tell us a moment in your career that stands out as a proud highlight.
Oh, well, it's starting uncommon, which is a bit of a boring answer, isn't it?
It's not.
But yeah, I mean, we've won so many wonderful awards along the way that I can't pick any of them out. I think, to be honest, we're pretty rubbish at celebrating the moments as we go, which is why I loved your 10-year celebration. It's inspired me. So hopefully that...
Can't wait for your party.
That's hopefully what we're going to aim for is going to be my proud highlight, is the 10-year party. So
Now
we're not there yet.
Now that I've seen your crew who are out the latest, I think you're going to have a great party on your hands.
We will.
I agree with you, celebrating the mini milestones as well. I never did either, but I'm going to be going forward.
Yeah.
I really am annoyed with myself about that. You can answer this however you want. What's the biggest learning in the last few years?
Biggest learning in the last few years, probably committing to my family. So since COVID, I really had a new appreciation for where I get my energy and how I thrive. And I think I'd been playing at it previously, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it as much. And yes, I think the biggest learning has been making time for family and friends, but particularly family. And I think it's made me better as a result.
And happier.
And a lot happier. Yeah.
That's actually beautiful, that one. best thing you've done in the last 12 months?
Oh, wow. I made a person.
She's so cool.
Not completely on my own, obviously. But yeah, I made a person.
Well, that's it, my friend.
Oh.
I so appreciate you coming to the sofa again.
Thank you.
First returning solo guest, and it's been a joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Heart over head or head over heart?
Oh, well, the fact I'm thinking about it is probably head over heart, isn't it?